So I know that this theory is a little outdated now, but I wanted to revisit it for the people that had no idea that this was ever a thing, because for the past few years, I kept seeing posts from people saying that they thought Rory Williams was the Master, the Doctor's archenemy, just hidden in plain view. Now, I did a lot of research on my own, and I found out that there is a lot of evidence stacked up in that category. For one, when Rory goes into the TARDIS for the very first time, he is not astonishingly amazed that the TARDIS is bigger on the inside. That is what everybody notices and says when they first go in for the first time. They start freaking out. It's just so much bigger on the inside. It's bigger on the inside. Rory just had, he didn't care. Now this is an easy one. Rory dies and dies and dies and dies and dies, and he always comes back. He always comes back. The Master always comes back. River Song, the daughter of two humans, is human and Time Lord. The fact that she was conceived during the TARDIS flying through the time vortex doesn't really make a lot of sense, because there have been multiple characters since then that have said that it's very, very difficult to create a Time Lord. And how would just flying through the vortex and that doesn't make sense. In Let's Kill Hitler, when River regenerates right in front of everyone, Rory is exposed to raw time energy for the very first time, and he complains about a loud banging in his head. A drumming, perhaps? In the 11th hour, the first time that the Doctor met Rory, he said about Prisoner Zero, you need a psychic link. Possibly referring to the time vortex and the banging in the Master's head. And then the Doctor said, in a living but dormant mind. Possibly referring to a fob watch, huh? And just like when Ten met Yana, it's clear that the Doctor can't recognize a Time Lord masquerading as a human. The fact of the matter is that no, Rory is not and has never been the Master. That's just it. He would have had to disguise himself as a human child, well before Amy ever met him. But in the 8th Doctor's movie, the Master had the ability to control people's minds and then control their body. Maybe... Nope. Rory waited 2,000 years for Amy, and that is way too patient, even for the Master. And don't you think that if Rory was consciously the Master, he would have attacked the Doctor at some point? It's not like he didn't have the opportunity. Maybe the banging in his head in Let's Kill Hitler was just a headache. Maybe the fandom is reading just a little too much into these hints. But that's what I love about fandom. We take hints and things, like the color of someone's shirt and the time on a clock, and twist it around into logical headcanon. And good headcanon is some of the most interesting stuff on the internet to read, especially Doctor Who headcanon. I love Whovians. You'll see me tomorrow. But what if the biggest plot twist in sci-fi history is that Rory was actually the Master, but the writers, they didn't even notice?